All right. Give a warm welcome to Larry, everybody.
I remember it like it was yesterday. It was 2018, and I'm in the day room with my friend Tyson, and I'm new to my change. Like, this is early into my change. I'm trying to figure out how to be a better person in prison. And my friend is telling me, you got to join this dog program, man. And I'm making all these excuses like, no, I don't got time. I'm in school. I got to do this. I got to do that. He's like, you got to make living amends. It's like, you got to make living amends, and it'll help you. He's like, it'll make everything more manageable. And I thought about it, and I was giving him all kinds of reasons, and I was like, no, like, I can't do it. I grew up in apartments. I've never been around dogs. I was like, I don't want to be touching these dirty dogs. I don't want to be picking up their poop. But I was really scared. I was scared to come out of my comfort zone and do it. But I did it. And on May 17th, 2019, I got into the dog program. So the first dog I had was a dog, he had just got mauled in a playgroup, right? And my other mentor, my friend Jack, brings him to the cell, and he's like, this is Balto. It's like, you're gonna take care of him. And I was like, what do I do? And he's like, just give him some love, man. So this dog he had stitches and all kinds of stuff. He didn't want to move. So I was like, man, like, I'm just sitting with her, and I felt so bad for him. He was a wire-haired German pointer. He was like real shaggy, and he was like so smelly because he had just been injured and they couldn't wash him. So I'm just sitting there looking at him, and he's looking at me with these like yellow eyes. So I just start holding him, and like I felt something in me coming back that I hadn't felt for a long time. And it just made it easier to try to be a better person. Like, I started caring about something that wasn't just me. So I started showing up, and I really dedicated myself to working in this program. It gave me like a sense of self-worth. Before that, like, I'd just been a gang member. I'd been in prison like 15 years. Like, the biggest thing I'd done with my life was gang retaliation, right? It was the biggest impact I'd ever had. I'd failed to be a father. I'd failed my family. But now I had this chance to make amends. And I dedicated myself to it. And I remember the day Jack comes to my door and he's like, hey, how involved do you want to be in this program? And I just felt like this chill, like I was under the gun or something. And like all this self-doubt and everything came to me, and I was like, oh, like however much you want to be involved, however much you need me. And he's like, that's not what I asked you. Like, how much are you dedicated to this? And I told him, like, I'm all in. I'm all in. So he started giving me more responsibilities, more jobs to do, and I started to feel like a better person because I was acting like a better person. I still had all these things inside of me. I still felt the doubt. In that moment, I was reminded of all the times I was given an opportunity and I disappointed people. And I had told Jack, like, I don't want to let you guys down. I don't want you to think you picked the wrong person, right? And a little bit later, COVID hit. So now we go from it being 120 people taking care of 40 dogs to it being 2 shifts of 10 people. And I got put on the critical worker list. So I'm able to come out and take care of these dogs. And I'm taking care of like 4 dogs when I used to only take care of 1. I'm taking them out to the restroom. I'm cleaning their kennels, everything, making sure they get water, making sure they get fed. And like, I'm really getting a sense of self-worth from this, the responsibility and everything that comes with it. And I want to do a good job. I don't want to mess up. And then I messed up. I messed up. I was in such a rush. I was so stressed out that I put 2 dogs that didn't get along inside the same kennel. And these aren't big kennels. This is like a 5x3 kennel. They're small. Like, nobody had ever messed up like that. But thankfully, they didn't hurt each other. Like, they just sat there. So when the program director found them, he was like, what the hell? And he was like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know. Like, instantly, like, my self-preservation kicked in, and I didn't want to take responsibility for what happened. Like, luckily, we had to go back in the cell. So I went back in the cell, and I started to feel it. Like, I was making excuses, like, man, like, it's me and this other guy. So if I say I don't know who did it, I'm not going to tell him myself. I know he's not going to say he did it, and they're not going to know who did it. but I'm struggling, like I'm trying to be a better person. So I'm like, what do better people do? And like I have this voice in my head, right, that's telling me like, this isn't you, man. Like, what are you trying to do thinking you can be like these other guys? Like you're what you are. You're just a gang member, you're a failure, you let people down. Look at you, you try to do something big and you failed. And I just keep thinking like, no, that's the voice, that's the shame that made me make all those bad decisions I made in my life. Listening to that person is what caused me to commit murder and attempted murder. That's the person that wanted me to stay small, to stay in a corner and not grow. So I decided I was gonna go out and take responsibility. So I went out and I sat in that same day room with Chris Murray, who was the director of the program at the time. And I told him, hey Chris, like, it was me, man. It was me. I apologize, I'm sorry, you know. And he just looked at me and he let me have it. He's like, bro, that was careless. And that hurt. I was like, oh. But it was the truth. It was careless. But he said, luckily, none of the dogs weren't hurt. If the dogs had been hurt, we'd be having a different conversation. He's like, everything's okay. And I felt like this sense of relief. And I was like, wow, that's what it's like to be a better person. Like, that's what it's like to own up to something and take responsibility. And like, I was so grateful for the second chance that he gave me. And like, it's really who I am now. Like I said, I was in prison 15 years, and all I did, everything was gang activity. Everything was for the homies, for the cause. That was like how I derived my sense of self-worth for like 15 years. But since then, like, part of my identity, part of who I am now, is a dog trainer taking care of dogs. Here I am today, like I'm in a dog program now, because it's how I'm learning and began to learn how to become a better person. And it was how I first began to take responsibility in my life. Thank you.